25th Hour Radio Show.
You're tuned in to the 25th Hour Radio Show. I'm your host, Rob Fairless. On behalf of my co-hosts, Randy Ashby and Robert Reams, we would like to welcome you to today's exciting broadcast. We have a very distinguished guest on our program today. He has sold over 11 million albums worldwide. When you think of Christmas, this man's music always comes to mind. His most famous song, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, is heard on radio stations around the world every November and December. Of course, I'm talking about Dr. Elmo, the man who could quite possibly be bigger than Santa Claus himself. Dr. Elmo, thank you so much for being on our program. How are you doing today, sir?
My pleasure, Rob, Randy, Robert.
We are so excited to have you on today's broadcast. Dr. Elmo, for all the people out there who don't know, and that's not very many, I'm sure, do you mind giving us, our listeners, a little information on how your song, Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, came into existence?
Well, I started out as a veterinarian, and then later on in life I got interested in playing the banjo, and so I was playing the banjo in a bluegrass band, and once we finished the show, and this guy came up to me afterwards, and he said, you know, I have a song that I think would be perfect for you. And I think he said that because he thought that I wasn't that good of a singer. So I thought, well, I can sing this song, you know, and I recorded it, and it started playing on the radio. A friend of mine took it to the radio. I didn't even think about doing that at the time. I was still working as a veterinarian. And one day I was driving to work and heard my song being played on the radio, and a lot of people were calling in and say, play that song again. And a lot more of them were calling in and say, we hate that song. Don't ever play it again.
Now, Randy, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know you're very excited to talk to Dr. Elmo. So go ahead.
Oh, Dr. Elmo, I'd like to say welcome to 25th Hour Radio Show. Once again, it's an honor having you here with us today. You know, some of my fondest memories growing up had your song as a soundtrack to them. Time-honored tradition to play your song at our family Christmas gatherings. It's always been a part of our lives, and now my kids enjoy it just as much as I do. And let me ask you, did you ever think years ago when you first heard this song on the radio that it would become what it is today?
Not at all. In the first year, there was a disc jockey in San Francisco who played it, and they asked him to stop playing it. You know, the management said a lot of people are complaining, stop playing it. But that was back in the days when sometimes radio DJs were more powerful than the corporate people behind them. And so he kept playing it. But then he went on vacation December 20th, and then that was it. And I thought, wow, that was kind of fun, but it's over now. And I guess that was like 33 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that song is, it plays every year, and I mean, you almost look forward to it. It really sets the bar for Christmas time. Can I ask you, do you remember where you were the very first time that you ever heard it played on the radio?
I do. I used to go to work at my veterinary hospital every morning, and I was on my way to work, and I didn't know, I made 500 copies of this song. That's the least amount you could make. It was a 45 at the time, and I gave it out to a few friends as a gag gift. Never occurred to me to send it to a radio station, and one of my friends took it to the radio station, and so that's how the radio got it. And I was listening to my favorite station, and they had this. Suddenly he came on and he says, we're having this contest. We have this song. A lot of people don't like it, and some people do, and so if we get 50 requests to play it, we're going to play it. And that piqued my interest. I'm listening, and suddenly I said, we have 50 requests, and here it is. And then it goes, bling, 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 Grandma got run over by a reindeer. And I almost drove off the road. I thought, wow, that's my record. I can't believe it. And then the next thing I said, I sound terrible.
No, you don't. No, you do not. You know how happy you just made me doing that just now? Yeah. Here just now. Well, listen, Robert Reams, I know you probably have some questions for Dr. Elmo also. I'm going to turn it over to Robert. Go ahead, man.
Okay. Again, like the other guys, it's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you, Robert.
Yes. like Randy said, it just doesn't seem like Christmas until, I know when I hear that song the first time, it's like, it's Christmas time. A lot of people, it's White Christmas or whatnot, but more people, I know more people that probably think of that song during Christmas time than any other song. Have you ever felt, I don't want to say typecast, but, has it had any drawbacks for, having such a popular song, having yourself represented towards a song? Has it been, whatever they say, a curse or a blessing? Would you call it more of a blessing?
Well, every year when the royalties come in, it's much more of a blessing, but there have been some downsides. I was playing in a bluegrass band, and we used to be booked a lot. And, we were playing all over the place, and when the song came out, suddenly everybody knew who I was, but when we would try to get bookings, like whoever, had the venue, like the pizza parlor or wherever we'd be playing, would say, well, what's he going to do? Sing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer 10 times in a row? They weren't that interested because they had no idea what I would do when I got up to play. So that was one of the drawbacks. And of course, since then, I've written and recorded a lot of other songs. And even though I think some of them are as good as Grandma, a lot of people, pretty much everybody says, well, it's okay, but it's not another Grandma. And possibly if the Grandma song had never come out, nobody would want to hear anything I did. But on the other hand, I think they would have maybe accepted some of the other songs I did more readily.
Sure. And that goes for a lot of artists as well, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if I put myself in the same position, if I was programming Christmas music and say, okay, I'm going to play White Christmas by Bing Crosby and like Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire by Nat King Cole, and I say, Dr. Elmo, what am I going to play from him? Grandma's Killer Fruitcake or Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? Well, since they only have one, they're only going to play one song by me, that would be the one.
Well, I can tell you one
Dr.
thing.
Elmo, Dr. Elmo, back in 1986, there was a DJ by the name of Jack Daniels, who seemed like a fitting name for what he did.
Yes.
Now, he was fired for playing your song 27 times in a row. Now, didn't that stir a song from you?
It did. After that happened, I wrote this song called Don't Make Me Play the Grandma Song Again. And it has a line in it goes, I'll do anything you say, I'll play them barking dogs all day, but please don't make me play that grandma song again.
Oh, great.
That's great.
So, Dr. Elmo, what's a typical day like for you outside of the holiday season?
I usually go running every morning, maybe run like 3 to 5 miles, and then I'm still recording. I'm still recording bluegrass music. Usually maybe have a recording session once a week, and then my band plays once or twice a week. So I'm staying busy, and then we have a big Christmas show coming up where I have some really great players that are going to join me to do some Christmas shows out here in California.
That sounds amazing. Speaking of your running, now, back in 2006, didn't you celebrate your birthday by finishing ninth in your age division in the New York City Marathon?
I did. Thank you for bringing that up.
Congratulations.
I'm proudest of that, and I worked really hard. I was running about 40 miles a week, and it's and when you're 70 years old and running 40 miles a week, you're tired all the time, But and I kind of expected that there wouldn't be that many 70-year-olds in the race, and I thought I'd probably win, but I was far from that. But I'm happy to have finished ninth. I think there were maybe like 120 70-year-olds in there, and I finished number like 11,000 in the New York Marathon, and there were 38,000 people in there. So I beat like 26,000 people.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
I would be in the back of the pack, that's for sure. So
I'd be in last place.
I'd be sitting at the starting line with a bottle of water, just waiting for everybody to come back.
You'd have been the smartest guy there.
Had you been a runner all your life, or is that something you just decided to train for? Or?
No, I just started running when I was about 55. And you know, it's really tiresome, boring, and everything like that. You know, in the beginning, it was really tough. I had a hard time running a mile, and then at some point, I got to that point where you kind of get high off of it, and that's when it kicked in, and I started running a lot. Because no matter how you feel in the morning, like if you got a hangover, if you ate too much, you know, not feeling good, if you can go for like a 3 or 4 mile run, man, you feel like $1 million afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
It clears out everything, you know, gets rid of everything that if you ate too much or whatever.
Yeah, Dr. I'd like to ask, kind of get home to my wife. She runs a no-kill animal shelter, and you're a veterinarian. What got you into veterinary, in that business, or are you still doing any of that?
Only on my own animals now, but I was a veterinarian for a long time. I started out on the racetrack. Actually, I was raised on a farm in Kentucky, and I was an exercise boy, and I always wanted to be a veterinarian because veterinarians seemed to be the only people who made money in the horse business, other than the multimillionaires that owned the horses.
Sure.
So then, I went to University of Florida and then Auburn University and became a veterinarian. I worked on the racetrack in New York for a couple of years, then came to San Francisco, and I still really love working with animals, and I still like being around animals a lot.
Yeah.
What other styles of music? I know you mentioned bluegrass. What other styles of music, and do you have any albums out right now that has nothing to do with Christmas albums? Like, would you like to plug something like that before we get off here?
Yeah, I have a bluegrass band called Dr. Elmo and Wild Blue, and that's available on my website. And I've had that band together for maybe 21 years or so, and that's the band we play a lot with here. But thank you for letting me plug it, because most people don't know about that side of me. They only know, well, he did the grandma song, which is fine. I'm happy about that.
Well, that's what we like to do on this show. Go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to say, I've been excited about you coming on the show now. I'm still ecstatic about it, you being here. But I actually listened to some of you and Wild Blue stuff, and one of my favorite songs that you guys do is My Old Kentucky Home.
Thank you so much.
You guys' version of that is just awesome.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I love that song, and I really appreciate that you've heard it.
Oh, you guys got a good sound to you.
Oh, thank you.
If anybody out there enjoys bluegrass, you would enjoy Dr. Elmo and Wild Blue for sure.
And
do you all have all original members?
Other stuff. So.
There's 3 of us that have been together for about maybe 21, 22 years. Actually, the bass player's been with me for 30 years, and then we have a fiddle and mandolin player that's probably been with us for 10 years.
Well, Dr. Elmo, I know you're a very busy man, and we appreciate you coming on our show. And like I said, you've made my day. I know you've made Randy and Robert's day.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope one day that you decide to come back on here. I know Christmas time is coming up. It's a very busy time of year for you, I'm sure. And I just want to thank you once again for coming on our show.
Thank you so much, Rob, Randy, Robert. I loved talking with you guys.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Elmo.
It's our pleasure.
Well, this is Rob Fairless, and on behalf of Robert Reams and Randy Ashby, this has been the 25th Hour Radio Show. And tune in next week. We'll have another guest.
25th Hour Radio Show.